know Jordan Davis is going to garner most of the headlines, but if you look at how his two teammates tested at the combine too, Wyatt at 304 pounds, running a 4.77 40, didn't have quite as long of a broad jump. And then Walker running a 4.51 at 272 pounds at a defensive end position, 10 foot 3 inch broad jump as well. You're going to get some excellent players. And there was a reason why the Georgia Bulldogs went on to win the national championship. Jordan Davis garners a lot of the headlines, but there were a lot of dogs on that Georgia Bulldogs defense, Ike.
I was there in person. I was there live when they played Alabama. It was a great game, but to see that defense in the second half, because Alabama had some action in the first half, but to see that defense come out in the second half and say, enough is enough. And then when you just mention all the stats between the 10-3 broad jumps, between running a 4.5 at 290 and some change, between running the 4.7 at 340 and some change, man, I saw that live in person. You know, that's how them dogs played. Them dogs played like dogs when it came down to that national championship game. So to see what they're doing at the combine, if you watched any of the series leading up to the national championship game, instead what Georgia had did throughout the college season, that bond and that brotherhood really took off. And this started with the linebacker crew, and it started with the defensive line. And pretty much everybody else had to fall in line when it came down to, hey, man, we're going to hold each other accountable. You know, when I saw Wyatt get upset and talk to his other linebacker, his other teammate, yes, he was very upset, but he was upset like, bro, I need you. Like, I'm telling you what's going on before this play, and you don't listen to me. Now, they almost scored. Alabama didn't score on that drive because they was in the goal line. They didn't score. But to see the emotion, to see the passion from a distance on Wyatt, I'm like, okay, he's a real live leader. You know what I'm saying? But if you go back and look at during the regular season, who they talk about in the offseason, they talk about Wyatt. So I'm like, okay, all this stuff makes sense. He don't want to be a team captain. He don't want to be a team leader. You know what? But your teammates picked you to be. Because that's how special they feel about you. So just to see that whole Georgia Bulldog, what they're doing right now for the combine, I kind of expected that because I watched them grow during the season. But I got a clip of them during the offseason on what the Georgia Bulldogs were doing in the offseason, who the guys was, who was the alphas, and why this team will have an opportunity to win the national championship game, which they did.
If you watch their defense this year, Ike, it was like heat-seeking missiles to the football. And there's an old slogan where if you get a bunch of dogs together, even the cats start barking. And I think that's what happens when you gather just a bunch of alphas together. They really brought out the best in one another's abilities. And that front seven you mentioned, Ike, was just incredible.
I got to borrow that slogan. Say that again? I got to borrow that.
When you get a lot of dogs collectively together, even the cats start barking.
Cat. Dog.
You look like a proud big brother right now, Ike.
What? Boy, that's a cold one, boy. I'm sorry, carry on. You're right. I'm sorry, but golly.
You're usually the one who nails the analogies, Ike.